NAPLAN, National Assessment Program Literacy and Numeracy. It's a form of high-stakes testing in Australia for children in Year 3, 5, 7 and 9. The purpose of the standardised test, introduced in 2008, is to see each child's performance in reading, writing, numeracy and language conventions such as spelling, grammar and punctuation, to increase accountability for teachers and schools, to inform parents on their child's performance, as well as provide parents data about their child's school and other schools. But is this ethical? My name is Sarah Portelli and I plan on explaining how the purpose of NAPLAN mentioned above can have some unintended consequences which can be deemed unethical. For something to be ethical, it means an action is fair, right, just or good, according to Newman and Polnitz 2005. I'll refer to policy in relation to NAPLAN and how it encourages a focus on the high-stakes test. Also, I'll explore some suggestions in literature which reject high-stakes testing or provide a different approach to how NAPLAN is designed, implemented, and evaluated. Through these suggestions, I will then propose an alternative perspective of NAPLAN and how it makes a better future for children in the educational system. Assessment framework is policy designed by the Australian Curriculum Assessment and Reporting Authority, also known as ACARA. Mentions that NAPLAN states how schools have primary accountability for student outcomes and that parents have access to the results for different schools to compare. This may be seen as ethical, as it is true that teachers are responsible for children's learning and that parents should have access to information to make informed choices for their child. But Lingard 2010 says otherwise. Lingard 2010 refers to how a strong focus on results of NAPLAN can degrade teachers and schools. As parents can access NAPLAN results of their child and the school they attend and other schools, according to ACARA 2008, parents can use the data gathered to make choices like move their child to a different school or demand answers from their current school. With bad results, schools and teachers may develop a negative reputation and have a loss of teachers and students, as Duffy et al. 2012 points out. To avoid this outcome and for teachers to ensure they are providing children with the knowledge and skills to be prepared for the NAPLAN, teachers may compromise time of other learning areas to transmit knowledge for the test, as Postel et al. 2014 states. Policy standards for curriculum planning and programming, assessing and recording to Parents K-12 created by New South Wales Department of Education mentions how English and mathematics is suggested to take 50% of the students' time at school, thus take more priority over other learning areas such as science and technology. Seem logical or appropriate for teachers to prepare students for NAPLAN as much as possible. It impacts on the educator's teaching style and what content taught, according to Duffy et al. 2012. Thus, the curriculum in NAPLAN reduces time for quality learning as students are exposed to a limited range of activities, which narrows children's experience to broaden social and personal development, according to Postel et al. 2014. As a result, this teach-the-test approach Lumbusco 2011 refers to presses teachers to enact pedagogies to comply with policy, but as a result, students feel stressed and pressured to do well in NAPLAN, given that a large amount of time is dedicated to literacy and numeracy, according to Duffy et al. 2012. Ethical, as teachers and schools can unintentionally promote competitiveness between students, individualistic attitudes and ideas of performativity over children gaining deep understanding of content. Due to the unintended consequences of performativity of students and accountability of teachers is recognized in literature, some have given suggestions to ensure it doesn't continue. According to Lumbusco 2011 and Lingard 2010, Finland is depicted as having an educational system as high quality and high equity as it scores higher compared to Australia and other countries in the world on the Program for International Student Assessment, also known as PISA. According to PISA's website, it is an international survey which tests 15-year-old students' skills and knowledge in reading, maths, and science to evaluate educational systems. The educational system is believed to be successful as it has loose ends, holistic learning, and empowers high-quality teachers to monitor child's learning. Thus, no high-stakes testing involved. Lingard 2010 goes on to state that NAPLAN supports ideas of neoliberalism and market choice, which encourages these unethical issues of accountability, competitions between children and schools, and pressure on children. Hence, he suggests that policies should go beyond this, and that education needs to be linked to the place of schooling, meaning that teachers accommodate to the needs of children to provide authentic learning, rather than focus on preparing students for tests. NAPLAN is in policy. Only the government can make efforts to abolish it. Although I believe the government will be against this. Although amendment to ensuring that Australia's NAPLAN follows the example of Finland's education system will stop the unintentional consequences currently with NAPLAN. This is why I support Lombister 2011's notion, which encourages teachers should have an input in designing, implementing, and evaluation of the tests and how the tests are used. Through a group of teachers working at the Australian Curriculum Assessment and Reporting Authority to design several informal tests instead of just the high-stakes test of NAPLAN to give students throughout the year. When teachers believe the students are prepared to take the test to the best of their ability, they can give it to them. By applying this perspective, children are not stressed to perform as they feel comfortable in their environment and believe this test is going to define their achievements in school, as they depict the test as not out of the ordinary. Similarly, parents don't feel stressed to ensure their child does well, and believe that they can trust the professionalism of their child's teachers. Teachers will also feel empowered to pursue the pedagogies required without stress, as they can teach all the learning areas without a deadline like the NAPLAN, and feel in control when providing students with these informal tests. The results from these informal tests will be given to parents at the end of the year when all the tests are complete. The school will also utilise these results to support teachers or students when necessary, but average marks will not be publicised for parents to see. This disallows notions of neoliberalism and market choice to continue, thus no degrading of teachers and schools. Overall, the alternative perspective I have provided will not result in unintended consequences like the NAPLAN, while the performativity of students and accountability of teachers is still considered when NAPLAN results of students are uncovered. Thank you for watching. I hope this video has provided an insight into NAPLAN and how its unintended consequences on schools, parents, students, teachers is unethical. Action to combat issues around performativity of students and accountability of teachers needs to be done.